What is probate? My name's Stacey Morier, and I'm the founding lawyer of Estate Connection Law Office. And I know one of the words that throws my clients into a fit of fright is probate. And I'm here to tell you why probate is nothing to be feared. We're very lucky in the province of Alberta. Our top probate fee is $525. It might have gone up a teeny bit, but it's relatively inexpensive. Now I know $500 is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, but when you look at what probate fees are across this country, from 15,000 to BC to 10 or 12,000 in Ontario, ours are really nothing to be scared about. What probate is it's a process where the lawyers do up a whole bunch of documentation on you, where you were born, your age, where you lived, your assets, your debts, who your beneficiaries are, who your dependents are, children and spouses, and presents it to the court and says, will you okay that this is the last will of the deceased? The courts put a big stamp on it, and then everyone can rely on it, from banks to land titles to other government agencies. So, what this does is it just makes it so that the banks know that when they look at that will and give the money to the person that's listed in it, they have no recourse, or no one else has any recourse to coming back and saying that that's not a valid will. Because you could have written your will in 1973 and rewritten it every year annually. And so, which will was the will that should have been relied upon? With that stamp, that's clear game, and everyone can rely upon it. So the process does take quite a bit of time right now in the province of Alberta. I would say probate in Edmonton area is somewhere between 3 and 4 months, and we're talking November 25th, 2021, in the middle of a pandemic. So the courts aren't doing too bad considering everything that they're having to go through. As well, you have to be aware that when we do probate, it actually costs money. That's how lawyers make money. They sell their time. And so in our office, we're charging about $3,500 for a basic probate. Yes, it is a lot of money. But when you look at the cost of estate litigation, if the courts actually relied on a will that wasn't valid, you can see that it's pretty inexpensive. $3,500 won't get you far in estate litigation. So some people try to avoid probate, and they may put their children on their bank accounts, they may put them on the title to their home, they may take, one property, put this child on title, another property, put this child on title, all types of mechanisms to avoid probate. I'm here to tell you that we are so fortunate in the province of Alberta, we shouldn't even be worried about probate. Probate allows you to live your life now with the plan in place, which is your will, that will be followed if something should happen to you. You don't want to risk putting your children on title to your homes or your bank accounts, because at the end of the day, it can be quite costly. And I'll give you an example of that. We once had a lady in town in St. Albert who had decided to put her son on title to our home. She had a beautiful home out in Grandin. And you know what? It was a big yard. After a couple of years, she decided, I want to sell this place and move to a nice condo that's being built in St. Albert. Well, her son really liked that house in Grandin. And he had his own home, but he had big plans for what he was going to do to that property when his mom died. And he was entitled to that home, so he was a legal owner, and he could legally prevent his mom from selling the home because the proper paperwork hadn't been done out. In that case, eventually the son came around without having to do a big court application to have him removed. But you could see how if that son had gone through a divorce, or maybe had creditors and claimants looking for money, it could have caused a big problem for that mom. So for the cost of actually probating an estate, I don't suggest people risk putting their children on their assets. But ultimately, that's your decision. Questions or concerns about probate, why you might need it, and do you need it on your estate? Give our office a call. We're here to help.